Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a question that's on a lot of minds, especially with so many folks hitting that big retirement milestone. How old do you need to be to get full Social Security benefits in 2025? It's a hot topic because, let me tell you, a record number of Americans are turning 65 every single year through 2027. Millions of people are stepping into that retirement zone, and it's got everyone buzzing. But here's the twist. 65 isn't quite the magic number for full Social Security benefits anymore. Nope, things have shifted. And if you're planning your retirement, or just curious about what's coming down the pike, you're going to want to stick around for this deep dive. We're going to break it all down. What's the full retirement age now? When you can start collecting? What happens if you wait? What most people actually do? And even some real numbers to give you the full picture. Plus, I'll throw in some tips and tricks from the experts to help you maximize that cash flow. Oh, and if you love getting the scoop on stuff like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button at the end. I'd love to keep you in the loop. All right, let's get rolling. So, let's start with the big question. How old do you have to be for full Social Security benefits in 2025? Well, if you're thinking 65 because that's what your parents or grandparents talked about, I've got news for you. That's old school. Back in 1983, Congress passed a law that said, hey, people are living longer, and we need to keep Social Security sustainable. So they started bumping up the full retirement age, or FRA as the pros call it, from 65 to 67. It didn't happen overnight. It's been a slow climb. And as of 2025, we're fully at that 67 mark for anyone born in 1960 or later. That's the official milestone for getting 100% of your Social Security benefits. No cuts, no reductions, just the full amount you've earned over your working years. But it's not the same for everyone, because if you were born a little earlier, your FRA might be a bit lower, and we'll get into that in a sec. The point is, 67 is the new gold standard for folks hitting retirement age around now, and it's a big deal because it affects how much money you're bringing in every month, and even what your spouse or survivors might get down the line. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about when you can actually start collecting Social Security. Because you don't have to wait until that full retirement age if you don't want to. You can kick things off as early as 62. Yep, 62. That's the minimum age to get in on the action. But there's a catch. If you start that early, your benefits take a hit. We're talking a permanent reduction. And it's not small potatoes. For example, if you turn 62 in 2025 and your full retirement age is 67, your monthly check could be about 30% less than if you'd waited those extra 5 years. So, say you're due $2,000 a month at 67. Starting at 62 might drop you down to around $1,400. That's a chunk of change you're leaving on the table every month for the rest of your life. But here's where it gets interesting. Some financial gurus, like Dave Ramsey, say, hold up, maybe early isn't so bad. Their logic? Take that smaller check at 62 and invest it. Stick it in the stock market, where historically you might see a 10% annual return. Over time, that could grow enough to make up for the reduction, maybe even beat it. Of course, that's a gamble. Markets go up, markets go down. So it's not for everyone, but it's a strategy worth chewing on if you're into taking a little risk. Okay, so 62 is the early bird option, but waiting until your full retirement age, 67 for those born in 1960 or later, gets you the full 100%. No cuts, no penalties, just the whole enchilada. And it's not just about you. Ben Rizzuto, a wealth strategist at Janus Henderson Investors, points out that waiting can also juice up what your spouse gets. He said, It also means your spouse may receive higher spousal and/or survivor benefits, which is huge if you're married. Think about it. If you pass away, your spouse might rely on those survivor benefits, and the longer you wait, the bigger that payout could be. But here's the thing. Your exact FRA depends on when you were born, because that 1983 law phased in the increase bit by bit. Let's run through it real quick so you can pin down your number. If you were born between 1943 and 1954, your FRA is 66 flat. Born in 1955, it's 66 and 2 months. 1956, 66 and 4 months. 1957, 66 and 6 months. 1958, 66 and 8 months. 1959, 66 and 10 months. And then 1960 or later, bam, you're at 67. Oh, and a little footnote. If you were born on January 1st of any year, you go by the previous year's FRA. So, if you're a New Year's baby in 1960, you're still at 67. But if you're January 1, 1955, you'd use 1954's 66. You can even hop on the Social Security Administration's website and plug in your birth date to double-check. It's a handy tool if you're not sure. Now, let's say you're like, okay, 62 sounds early. 67's the full deal. What happens if I wait even longer? Great question. If you hold off past your full retirement age, things get even sweeter. For every year you delay, up to age 70, your benefit goes up by 8%. That's right, 8% more per year. So, if your FRA is 67 and you wait until 68, that's an 8% bump. Wait until 69? 16%. All the way to 70? A whopping 24%, more than you'd get at 67. Rizzuto calls this where a lot of value can be gained by waiting to file for benefits. And he's not wrong. It's like a built-in raise for being patient. Imagine your full benefit at 67 is $2,000 a month. Wait until 70, and you're looking at $2,480. That's an extra $5,760 a year, every year, for the rest of your life. But here's the flip side. You've got to have enough savings or income to live on while you wait, because Social Security won't be sending you checks during that gap. Rizzuto's point is spot on. Someone needs to ensure they have assets and income to support themselves before they take Social Security. So if you've got a nest egg or a side gig, delaying could be a gold mine. Oh, and here's a bonus perk of waiting, or even just working longer. If you keep earning past your FRA, it can boost your benefits even more. See, Social Security bases your monthly payout on your 35 highest earning years. If you're still working and making good money after your FRA, those extra years get plugged into the formula, potentially kicking out lower earning years from your 20s or whenever. Higher lifetime earnings, higher benefits. For example, let's say you're 67 in 2025, your FRA, and you decide to keep your part-time job at, say, $40,000 a year. That could replace a year from decades ago when you made $10,000, and over time, that bumps up your average, which bumps up your check. It's like giving your retirement a little turbo boost, and there's no penalty for earning money after FRA, unlike before, where there's an earnings test that cuts your benefits if you make too much. In 2025, that test's limits went up, by the way. One of 5 big Social Security changes this year, along with a cost of living adjustment, higher payroll tax ceilings, and tougher work credit rules. It's all part of keeping the system ticking. So, when do most people actually start collecting? You'd think, with all these incentives to wait, everyone would hold out until 70, right? Nope. Turns out, most Americans jump in early. A 2024 survey from the Employee Benefit Research Institute found some eye-opening stats. The median retirement age, when people stop working, is 62, even though tons of folks plan to wait until at least 65. And the median age they start collecting Social Security? 64, despite most intending to hold off until 65. Why the gap? Life happens. About 35% of retirees leave work earlier than expected because of health problems or disabilities. Stuff like arthritis, heart issues, you name it. Another 31% get pushed out by workplace changes. Think layoffs or company shakeups. And then 35% say, I've got enough saved, I'm out, and retire because they can swing it. It's a mixed bag, but it shows how plans can go out the window when reality hits. Let's talk cash. What's the average Social Security benefit these days? As of January 2025, the SSA says it's $1,976 a month. That's the average, so some get more, some get less, depending on their work history. Compare that to 1975, when it was just $207. Wild how much it's grown, right? Inflation, cost of living adjustments, higher wages, it all adds up. And just to give you a sense of scale, let's zoom in on New York. As of December 2023, 3,758,898 New Yorkers were pulling in over $6.8 million in total monthly Social Security benefits. That's a massive number, and over 3 million of them were 65 or older. It's a lifeline for so many, especially in a high-cost state like that. All right, let's wrap this up with some food for thought. In 2025, your full retirement age is 67 if you're born in 1960 or later, earlier if you're older, like 66, and change for folks born in the 50s. You can start at 62 with a cut, wait for the full amount at your FRA, or hold off until 70 for that sweet 8% per year bonus. Most people don't wait, though. 64's the median, and life's unpredictability plays a big role. Whether you're crunching numbers for yourself or helping out a parent, knowing your FRA and your options is key to maxing out those benefits. Maybe you're someone who could take it early and invest, or maybe you've got the savings to delay and cash in big later. Either way, it's your call. But knowledge is power here. Whew, we covered a lot, didn't we? If you found this breakdown helpful, or if you're just as obsessed with retirement planning as I am, please hit that subscribe button right now. It's the best way to stay locked in for more tips like this. Drop a comment. When are you planning to take Social Security? Or what's your FRA? I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for hanging out through this epic rundown. Catch you in the next one.